Hey guys, welcome if you're new and welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Jasmine and I currently talk through a few different topics of my psychology unit. So I'm currently studying psychology and I'm minoring in neuroscience as well. So just having just open conversations about things I've learned and hopefully you find it interesting or just find it a little bit useful in some ways or entertaining, whatever it might be. But usually I go through different series, but today I thought I'll just change it up a little bit and just have like a little conversation with you guys about something that I've found very fascinating and also really hits close to home for me. And it's the importance of early intervention. So today's a little bit different because I probably won't be reading off a script, as you can see, and I'll just have a short dialogue with you guys about this, what early intervention is, what it consists of, and why it's proven across the board to be the most effective type of intervention um, for adult successfulness, which is something we've only spoken about, I think, briefly in the past. It's about giftedness or what it means to have successful kids. Um, Not like successful in a way where they like become millionaires, even though that would be nice and potentially it could. I don't know if you can hear my kids in the background. I don't know if you can, but they're singing, so that's nice. It's school holidays right now as well, so we're kind of like just all in the midst of it here at home. I don't know if my phone's actually picking up what I'm saying and what the kids are talking about. Well, hopefully that little adjustment was okay. But yes, so early intervention. What is early intervention? I should fact check myself because I am going to speak a little bit on top of my head, but feel free to fact check me. But early intervention is proven, I think, to be really effective at the age of 7 and under. So this is one of the kids' most sensitive periods where their brains is extremely plasticable. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's neuroplasticity. This is why you need a script, Jasmine. But neuroplasticity, it's this phase where the brain is constantly forming new synapses, new connections, new learning is being generated. This learning is constantly being generated during this first 7 years, and so it is so important. Excuse me. After this, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm gonna voice. Yeah, sorry about that. They're having fun. They're playing together, which is also things that I want to talk about as well, like the importance of like this early periods of shaping a person's character in the whole long run. So the first 7 years, research has proven this is one of the most. So the thing about research, let's just get something straight. The thing about research is it cannot show causality. It's only correlations. And from a non-researchy perspective, let me just explain what that means. It means no matter what no matter how much research we do in something and how much we learn about something, and even if it's been proven to be correct across the board, or at least even in one research paper, for something to be proven as causality is very, very rare. So causality means A causes B. So like eating ice cream causes diabetes. Even that, like even though eating big amounts of ice cream is known to prove a lot more chances of diabetes, research as a scientist, we can never say that that's a direct causal effect, and not many things are direct causal effects. Everything is more correlated, so we kind of draw on correlations, means they kind of potentially cause that, but as a scientist you can never say it's 100%. Nothing is 100% in science, which is great. um, Leaves a lot of room for critical thinking, leaves a lot of room for improvement. And so when I say that early intervention is across the board proven to be highly effective, what this means is that multiple researchers, multiple longitudinal researchers, longitudinal meaning across a lifespan. So there's a lot of researchers that actually follows people from birth through to adulthood, or even prenatally through to adulthood. It means when the mom is pregnant, they actually do research on these moms and then they follow up years, 3 years, and they chase up throughout the whole lifespan. And you can see that a problem with critical thinkers in this is there's so many factors that could be happening in those 3 years that they're not checking up on the participant to say that early intervention is the main contributor in this. I mean, there could be a support person, an extra support person that's making this possible, and it's not just early intervention. And that's why it's important as scientists to be really critical when drawing causalities or like direct correlations. Sorry, a lot of big sciencey data kind of words, but you get the gist. The idea is, even though research has proven something, it's not always like that's not the answer. However, early intervention is proven across many different research, and this is where we kind of draw more stable standpoints of what is true and what isn't, where it's proven consistently through multiple researchers across the whole world, where it's not just like a weird population. When I say weird, I mean Western, educated, oh, I forget the words, but it's like an abbreviation. It's like weird. It's like a westernized, educated, kind of like industrialized. I don't know. I should know this, but it's just like this population where a lot of research is based upon, where it's like a kind of the educated and higher social economic classes, and a lot of research has also been done on psychology students like me. So this has all been taken into account for. When it says it's across the board, it means all of these factors has been taken into account and has been weighed onto the different researchers, and it's still been proven that early intervention. I feel like I've kind of just like spoke a lot about research and what this means, but I just want to really press and hope you understand how important early intervention is, because it just it prevents so many long-term difficulties that a child might like present. And this is sad. This might be very sad news for some people. I understand that, because some people don't actually realize that something is wrong, or not wrong, but something is up. Like there's some concerns until the kid is like at least 9, and I think this is when they start high school or beginning. No, high school. No, 9 is not high school. 9 is year 4. So like kind of like in a bit more later stages of life, where they're like, oh, this is not a phase. This is not passing, because I think that's what a lot of parents believe, that oh, my kids is fine. Yeah, they're a little bit quirky, but don't worry about it. We won't try to fix them too much. Just let it ride out. Don't worry about early intervention. But if you're still in this window where you think that something is concerning, I'm not saying to get your kids diagnosed, get your kids labeled, and just do all these therapy. But you got to understand, therapy is not the way that it used to be anymore. Therapy is very play based. And my kids, like, disclaimer, my kids go through therapy, and it's not like sitting on a couch with a therapist and talking about your feelings. It's no longer like that for kids. So therapy with kids is all play based, and they don't even know they're doing work. So everything is like being done through play. So like, for example, one of my child suffers from a lot of anxiety since they were very young. And when I say, when you can think, oh, why would a kid be suffering from anxiety? It's just, I think some kids are just born with a more different demeanor, or different, what's the word? Not demeanor, like it's an actual word for it. There's different temperament. That's the word for it. Some kids are born with just different temperaments, and you don't have to change this about your kid. I mean, it's good to be anxious about some things, but I mean, if it's affecting your everyday life, and you know that she could benefit so much, he or she could benefit so much from this, to not be anxious. And I'm telling you, like, it works. Like, I've seen it firsthand, and I've also seen it in research, and I've seen it in like my support cycles. Like, early intervention is just so important. Even if you think it's so little that they'll grow out of it, just talk to someone about it. Talk to your local GP. Just see if you can get any form of, just even like a little block. And I'm not saying therapy for across the lifespan. Therapy can just be like 10 weeks max, and it can be every fortnight 10 weeks. It doesn't have to be like every week 10 weeks, and it's just for 1 hour, and they give you strategies. And this is the next important thing, because early intervention not only supports your kid, it supports you as a parent. And I wish this was talked about a lot more, because you know how we say, I don't know, not everybody, if you're not a parent, I don't know how you feel about this, because I think this video is a lot based for parents. And sorry about that if it doesn't relate to everybody. But if you're a parent, and you know you have the questions where, oh, I wish there was a textbook on how to raise my kid, because every kid's so different. And even if you read like 100 parenting books, it will not apply specifically to your kid. But this is the beauty of early intervention. This is the beauty of therapy, because therapists will work with you as the family, not just with your kid, but work with you as the family to find the best strategies to just get the best outcome for your kids. And this outcome can look different for every family. There's not one universal outcome of how you want your kid to look like, the most successful billionaires or whatnot. That's not what we're aiming for. But just the best outcome in the terms where they're not scared of interacting socially. Which, like I said, some parents might think that that's okay, that their kids are a bit anxious and they're happy with that, for their kid to be more reserved and stay at home. But you also kind of want to think about what's best for them, because having anxiety is not nice. It's not nice to have anxiety. It's not. You don't want your kids to be anxious. I mean, I get it, but you don't like. It's not nice to feel scared. It's not nice to just always be like nervous about the world and how to socially interact. It's not nice to not know how to talk to people. I think talking to people is such an important skill, especially in this kind of like social media kind of antisocial world where everybody's connected but yet still feel so alone. And I could ramble on to this for ages, but I try not to. But there was a study I will share. One of the studies that I've learned was that kids of low social economic classes, and what this means is just kids that are suffering from poor families, kids from poor families, single moms, single mom households, only one parent, mom working, and you hear the many stories of how these kids could turn out in a very negative light, like having a step parent or having a single mother. Like there's so much research has shown that kids in these households could turn out not the best. And that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. I'm not saying that just because you come from a single mother's household and you have a step parent that you're definitely going to turn out to be a certain way. That's not the facts. That's not the facts for everybody, because obviously we know there's a lot of success stories. There's a lot of success stories from these circumstances, but that's just not the majority. Like the majority of kids that come from poor families do not turn out well, unfortunately, because they're not supported by the community. They're not supported by the government as much. I mean, they're probably funded by the government in some ways, but they just don't have the knowledge and education to thrive in the world, unfortunately. And so there was a study done where kids in America, I believe, were being taught, were being given education, like early intervention education. And this changes their whole lifespan trajectory. It's incredible to see, and you actually see them as an adult and saying how this such short period of education, like intense education, like tailored education for these kids, how much that really made an impact on their overall life. And so parents, I urge you, if this is you, I mean, if your kid's doing great, great. But honestly, I think every kid has something that they could work on. And not to say that you want your kid to be perfect, but if you could help them just work on the things that they're struggling with, rather than kind of focusing all your energy on the things that they're already amazing at, which I'm sure they're amazing in so many different things in so many different ways. Hats off to them. My kids are very great at academics. Don't know where they got that from. But they're great at maths. They're great at reading and writing. Fortunately, they're not great at social. I wonder where they get that from either as well. But that's something we work on. And it's not to say that they're lacking in any way. It's just to say that we're trying to get them as balanced across the board as we can, just to help them, rather than just, okay, they're strong academically, we just keep pushing academics and just let the social thing work itself out. Like, I think to have a balanced like skill set across the board, where they don't have to be the top tier socialist I don't know if that's the right word, socialist. I think that means something else in politics. But they don't have to be super sociable. Socialist definitely means something else in politics. Sorry. But they don't have to be super sociable. They just give them a confidence, I feel, is what's important. And if that's a message I can give to you guys today, is just to keep an open mind. And remember, therapy is definitely not like how it used to be at all. Kids love therapy. My kids love going to their appointments, and they have so much fun. They play games, and a lot of the work is done through play. Like everything is done through play nowadays for kids, under 7 especially. And if you're past 7, if you're a parent and you're watching this too now, which I'm so grateful for you, and your kid is older than 7, and you feel a bit hopeless, just remember the brain is constantly been proven to be neuroplastic across the lifespan. So it's never too late. It's never too late. I mean, great, under 7 is great, but across the lifespan, you're never, ever, ever too late to start. I hear like grown-ups, like elderly people start therapy, and it makes a massive difference. So just start. Here's your sign. Start. And I think that's all for me today. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening to me. Hope you like this off-script kind of approach and hearing me ramble. I can do this a lot, but it has to be a topic that I'm super passionate about, which is one of them. And yeah, you have a great day. Thank you so much for sticking around to hear if you have, and I'll see you next time. Bye.